What's up, people? I'm Shaggy, the Opinionated Hippie, continuing my journey through Weird Al's studio discography. Dr. Demento recently retired, so in my tribute to Dr. Demento, definitely influenced my music and my sense of humor as a young child. I'm going to listen to these Weird Al Yankovic albums that I've never listened to. Number 4 today, Polka Party. This came out in 1986. I said in the last one, Dare to Be Stupid, when I realized I was just going to probably just get these done really quickly because they're really easy to listen to and kind of fun. And I said it's kind of like candy, right? And album number 4, I think I'm getting a little bit of a stomach ache. I think this is the least inspired to date, unfortunately. There's one really good song on here, I think, though has a very 86 dated 86 sound, but that's in many ways intentional because it's a parody of a song from back then. But a lot of these ideas, it's one of those again where I'm like, the parodies, I'm like, why? I mean, I know that's your job and that's what you're doing, but some of the parodies that he does, like the last album had Yoda, a parody of the Kinks' Lola. That's perfect. Like sometimes it just works beautifully. And the other times it almost comes across like, you have a single idea and you're just trying to like put as many references as you can and jam pack them in just for the sake of doing it. So that's what I think a number of the songs are here. And when I talk about them, you'll clearly understand, oh yeah, that's really makes sense that that's all he's doing. There is 2 more Zappa connections. There's a Twisted Sister reference. Zappa references Twisted Sister both in the live 1984. What song is that? Charlena, that opens up You Can't Do That on Stage, Volume 3. Also, he testified with Dee Snider in front of the PMRC here in the States about censorship. And then there's a line that says, Stomp the Poodle. So we get Stomp, a reference to Carolina Hardcore Ecstasy, and the Poodle, which is the whole poodle nonsense with Frank. So yeah, there we go. And this is what's on this album. Opens up with Living with a Hernia, which is a James Brown Living in America parody. It kind of works only because James Brown sort of, the grunting and the enthusiasm he puts into it kind of matches somebody who's mainly painfully wandering through the world with a hernia, or not painfully wandering through the world, or not wandering at all. And the last line is, I feel bad, which made me laugh. It kind of works, but it gets really specific about the medical terms about a hernia. Like if one thing Weird Al does really well is he covers all of his bases when he makes a fun of something, whatever, a topic. I'm not sure I want to re-listen to all these like specific names of hernias. It's just not something it's not a candy I want to eat again. The next song is Dog Eat Dog, which is like this herky-jerky new wave, very Talking Heads. Kind of feels like it's inspired by Once in a Lifetime. It's about working in corporate America. But it almost sounds like a Little Creatures version of Talking Heads trying to make a Remain in Light version of Talking Heads song and just not having whatever it was they had back then. I guess, I mean, it sounds like the Talking Heads. But I don't really need a song about the corporate world. It's interesting. Very 80s. Very 80s. Addicted to Spuds. Robert Palmer, Addicted to Love. But it's about potatoes. The Devo connection again. But this one was just why? Like, why? You're clever with your potato stuff, but I feel like now in this day and age, you can just Google potato-related topics and everything that's in this song would be in there. So maybe I'm not giving Weird Al the sort of props that this was pre-internet and he literally did have to think all of these things up himself. So I'm not going to be as hard on him, realizing this isn't like the AI age, but it seems like you could write a song like this now with AI just by, putting in a couple potato phrases. But this one, I'm just like, why? One of Those Days, kind of an average pop rock thing, kind of musically kind of fun. But it's like you show up late to work and your boss asks you why, and it's one of those days, and things that are both annoying and things that are like catastrophic, and you're just Weird Al singing about them in both equal sense of like importance, I guess. And then Polka Party. which I think he did a better job of choosing the songs that he's done. In the last one, there were a couple songs. I'm like, wow, I forgot that song existed. This one, he does a better job. Sledgehammer, Peter Gabriel, Susudio, Phil Collins. I think it's cool that he has those back to back. Party All the Time, Eddie Murphy, Say You, Say Me, Lionel Richie, Freeway of Love, Aretha, What You Need, In Excess, Harlem Shuffle, The Stones, Venus, Bananarama, or at least their version of Venus, Nasty, Janet Jackson, Rock Me Amadeus, Falco, Shout, Tears for Fears, Papa Don't Preach, Madonna, all done to a polka. It's probably some like classical polka jam in there that I don't recognize, but those were the pop songs I recognize. Then the song on the album that I actually think really, really works and is kind of cool, it's called Here's Johnny. It's a takeoff on a parody of El DeBarge's Who's Johnny. Sounds exactly like it. That sort of synthesized 80s bass sound that is used is beautiful. It is so well done, so incredibly 80s. But it's about Ed McMahon. Johnny Carson's sidekick, who used to say, "Here's Johnny." There's even he used to be in commercials for like the publishing clearinghouse sweepstakes. There's a reference to that in there. So I don't know. I like the song. It sounds exactly like the original, but it works with this tribute. And it's not just a list of, it's just a list of maybe like Ed McMahon career choices, but it's this fun, I don't know. There's a loving aspect to it that I like. Don't Wear Those Shoes. A list of things that he doesn't want somebody to do. Like, you can do all of this stuff. Just don't wear those shoes, even though some of that other stuff is way more ridiculous. And there's this weird keyboard riff that I think it opens it and then it drops in the middle that kind of sounds like the Kinks' Father Christmas, but that doesn't seem to bear any relation at all to the rest of the song. So kind of interesting. Toothless People, which is a cover, and this was probably a choice he wished he had made differently, of Mick Jagger's Ruthless People from the movie of the same name with, I believe, Bette Midler and, was it Nick Nolte? I think Bette Midler was one of them. I don't think it was Nick Nolte. I'm thinking of the Beverly Hills one was Nick Nolte. But yeah, Ruthless People. Was it the dude from Beverly Hills Cop was in that? Was Danny DeVito in that? I think Danny DeVito was in that. Anyways, Toothless People, about people who don't have teeth. Again, just why? Good Enough for Now, a country song in which he's in love with somebody, and it's good enough for now. You're like average, whatever. And for some reason, this entire song, which is about like declaring your love for somebody, but not really committing to like overdoing it and just like accepting mediocrity, reminds me of the Thunder Road, Bruce Springsteen, You Ain't a Beauty, but Hey, You're All Right, in which this entire Good Enough for Now song is perfectly boiled down to one incredibly powerful, impactful line. I don't know why I thought of that. And then Christmas at Ground Zero, which is a kind of a 50s era big band Christmas song, a whole bunch of war references in which war and Christmas are happening at the same time, which has happened many times. It does get kind of dark. If you hear somebody coming down your chimney, you better shoot to kill. Which I was like, okay, got really dark there. But I don't know. Just this album doesn't have that like Yoda to absolutely elevate it to the next level as the previous one did. It really doesn't have stuff as original as Mr. Popeil or even the inspired as Midnight Star, the Brady Bunch. If I had listened to this album in like 86 and you'd asked me to predict like the lifespan of Weird Al's career, I'd be like, it's not going to last very long with stuff like this. Like, I know there is stuff after this that is really good that works. So, I know that he at some point recovers, but not because it's 1986. Maybe it is. Maybe the songs that he had to choose to parody are just not worthy of being parodied. And that's why it's no good. So maybe once again, it is the 80s to blame, though he is a product of coming out of. Anyways, I'm rambling, but where would I rank this album? It's last. There really is, the only song on here that I think I enjoyed was Here's Johnny, but it does sound so 80s that it's almost unlistenable in that way, though it is a really great parody of the original song. But yeah, I just think he can do better. And I know he does, because there are songs that I'm aware of that I know he does better on. But for now, it's number 4. That's all I got. Let me know your thoughts on this album, Weird Al, things I messed up on, references in this album, all that kind of stuff. That's how comments work. Subscribe, like, share, comment, and go listen to one of his first two albums if you're not familiar. Those are the best two so far. Or go listen to Yoda on the third one. That is his best song so far. And I think it's probably his best song. All right, I'm rambling. Peace. Talk to you later.